Suge Knight, happy to have you, my man.
Hey, man, heard some good things about you. I don't get to, I don't listen too much or hear too much in here, but I just be doing my time.
Yeah, man, finally made it happen, man. I've been trying to get you on the platform for a while now, man.
Well, man, I'm happy to be here. And like I said earlier when we first chopped it up, it's always a blessing to use our platform and use our time to help each other. And I think that's one of the most important things that we need to do for one each other, for all. I want to really talk to you, give you the opportunity because one of the things I really don't like and care for in this business is the culture vultures. The people who don't care about us. And that's all they want to do is take, 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 and don't want to give back. And I know a lot of times people try to rewrite history. And it'd be great to do an interview with you and stand on the truth. And that's being said, since I've gone over 10 years now. I know there's been a lot of questions about Death Row and how Death Row got started and who was a part of Death Row. And the thing is, when I started Death Row, nobody never gave me nothing but God. And I had to grind and get it, but I got it. And the FBI, every law enforcement investigated me, see if I did anything illegal, being black for somebody that's really from Compton, instead of talking about they're from Compton. So that's been said. If you look back, the name Death Row, I came up with that name. Not only did I come up with that name, when I decided to name the company Death Row, and when I was going through the process of being able to get the rights to call my company Death Row, it was another guy had Death Row also. But his was still like Def Jam. So I had to find that individual. I gave him like 10 grand to buy his company and was able to make the real Death Row Records. My little homie who I love to death, Hen Dog. Hen Dog drew the logo. Hen Dog, rest in peace. M.I. Peter Hen Dog. I know there's been a lot of stuff about Michael Harris and Lydia Harris has something to do with Death Row. It's not true. When I first met Lydia Harris, she came with my homie. It's like a brother of mine, Ryan Brown. She was looking for tracks because she wanted to be a singer. So Ryan Brown bring her by the studio. Said, Death Row was already up and going. A lot of songs was already done. And I had a group called the Convicts, 3-2 and Big Mike. All around the world for those dudes. They was the ones who run the word Big Baby to our artists. They were signed to Rap A Lot. Lydia told me that her husband owns Rap A Lot. And he's in prison. I said, well, shit. If he got the Ghetto Boys, I want to buy Rap A Lot. At that point, I'm ready to go full steam to get Rap A Lot. I see Lil J at the Soul Train Awards outside. We push up on him. He tell me Michael Harris don't own Rap A Lot. He do. He said Michael Harris is a rat. So moving forward, when Michael Harris came in the picture, and they want to do something with Death Row, I was talking to him through David Kenner. David Kenner told me the situation with him, that they didn't have any money. Matter of fact, they would have met with Jerry Heller behind my back to try to cut a deal to bring Dre back to Rufus. Moving forward, they signed a settlement. It was out the way. But more importantly, had a gag order. Well, they don't even supposed to talk about the shit. More importantly, the facts of it is this. When I came home, I talked to the lady Half Dead. She wanted to do an interview, so I did an interview with Half Dead. She said some things about Lydia, but me and Lydia cool. But some of the things she was saying, I said, I guess that's true. That's what people say. They took that and the fact that they have something to do with Death Row. They never served me not one subpoena. Never. My lawyers is they lawyers. Nobody showed up to court. They get $100 and some million judgment. $50 million was because Half Dead said that basically she couldn't sing. So I said, that what I heard too. So you get $50 million because somebody said you can't sing and you never had a record out?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Me and Lydia settled. I gave her $1 million. She settled it. It was over. Michael Harris gets involved with his attorney, and him and Lydia go at it, and he went to divorce her. At that point, Lydia Harris was still on board. Michael Harris wanted to talk to my lawyer and another lawyer. They went to go visit him in prison. When the lawyer came back, they had a letter. The letter read that Lydia Harris better stay down and let them do what they want to do, or she going to be doing life like he doing life. And I'm looking crazy. The lawyer's looking crazy. And he continued to read. And he said, this letter's to Lydia, and make sure she knows this. So the lawyer read the letter that he wrote to Michael Harris. Michael Harris tells Lydia, the little Jewish kid that y'all stabbed to death and killed, I know what's up. Matter of fact, he said, I'm the one who told y'all to rob the little dude and torture him and get him to open the safe. So they torture the little kid. The little Jewish kid dies. The lady next door knows him. She's mad because of her son. Next thing you know, another young guy who they made the fall guy, he get pulled over in the little Jewish kid truck because they looking for him, for the kid, rather. It's blood all over the truck.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
They take him in jail. They check the DNA. It's a little Jewish kid blood. He's a teenager. Now, the deal fell apart. But I already had a signed deal. I already paid the money. But I'm not going to go and kill on this dude before he won't get out of prison. So the lawyer said, well, look, let him come home and we'll fix it. I let him come home. Instead of fixing it, he did a campaign lying, saying that he started Death Row. He a co-founder of Death Row. He did operations with Death Row. Now, is that crazy? He don't know none of those people on there. He don't know nothing I did. So to take away my credibility of my hard work from doing All Eyes on Me, the best album ever, the Chronic, the Doggy Style, the Dog Pound, I can go on. These people have nothing to do with none of this stuff. But to turn around, and I kept at my end of the bargain. We ain't gonna say nothing. I took a shot in the belly for it. But everybody committed bankruptcy fraud. But at the same time, even after he was going around saying, oh, I'm with Trump, oh, I'm over here, I'm over there, and people in his camp were saying, look, man, he did the honorable thing and didn't mention the fact that you told your wife and the next person to kill this little Jewish kid. Now you shooting him in the back. Because if he would have put the evidence in hand what the lawyers want to do, everybody be in prison, and he'd still have a $700 million company. So by saying that, Michael Harris, and they all make jokes about it, including with the lawyers, well, Trump won't be mad It's not a white kid. It's a Jewish kid. It's still a teenager. And I got respect for Jewish people because a lot of my friends and a lot of my attorneys been Jewish. Just imagine what they would do to take from a black man. They'll overlook somebody torturing, killing a Jewish teenager kid to try to rob him or get the money from him, turn back around and use that to mess up with my case and my company. Then turn back around not too long ago and say, hey, I'm good friends with the new DA. Tell Suge, fly me some bread. I'll tell the new DA to honor his appeal. And I do got a habeas in court. I want to win because I deserve to win. I'm not going to pay this dude nobody else no money to talk to the new DA to let me go. And if he got that much power, that much influence for them to not let me go, oh well. I'm going to believe in good. I'm going to believe in God and stand on right. But that's all I'm going to say about that situation. But the craziest thing about this is that there's no real lawyers out there. I had one decent black attorney in my whole career, and that was Johnny Cochran. Every other black attorney is cold pieces of shit. To the point where there was a guy named Thaddeus Culpepper. This dude was not only was he working with the DA, not only did I not hire this guy, who they brung to me, this guy stole money from his own family trust account. He stole $1 million of somebody's check he put in his own account and went to prison for that. But at the same time, he took money from our people. He took jury from our people. And he's working with the DA. And when they was recording him going undercover,
you have 60 seconds remaining.
And you can hear the recording for yourself. He was high off crack cocaine for 2 days and weed. Then he told me Fletcher was working with the DA. And I knew Fletcher since we was kids, junior high school. It was only 5 Bloods at that school. It was us 5. Then when I got a new attorney to get a declaration from either both of them, Culpepper says Fletcher only want to fuck any woman attorney. They don't care about doing a declaration unless they have sex with them. Or Culpepper do some slick shit. So what I was saying on that point with Culpepper, Fletcher, another dude named Porter. Porter got everything from my civil case. Talked to the Harris and somebody know the Harris. Took some bread and sold me out. On top of that, some of the best attorneys who's black, that's all they do is get drunk, do drugs, and they don't like black men. So they sell us out down the river. They only make 5%. Well, it's only 5% of black attorneys. The men make 3%. The reason why all us black men getting so much time because we don't have nobody that look like us who's going to fight for us. And that's really important to the point where you got some of the biggest main attorneys, even civil attorneys. They really works for the white attorneys. These men have what you call, most of them are Q. I'm from the West Coast where it's Kappas at. They Q dogs. All these guys get together because they frat brothers and they mess over the people. And if I was coming home a single guy, I'd just mess with all the attorney wives because when they talk about their wife at home, it's crazy. They get to the point where saying, hey, even the biggest names you've seen on TV, they be like, I don't like my daughter because my daughter reminds me too much of my wife, and my wife is ugly to me. Well, you should have married a better bitch. But shit, I'd tag it if I was single. But enough of the negativity. Even though it's true, it's still negative. I just want to set the record straight and tell you and shoot straight from the hip. Michael Harris is a fake ass nigga. Period. Every person want to take away that what I built and what Death Row stood for. Death Row stood for black owned. Death Row stood for the West Coast and everybody in the West Coast. Death Row was about growing, even communicating with other states. When it's all said and done, it was go down by jealousy. It wasn't.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
It was built on hard work and talent. There's some guys that I know that just recently somebody talked to Rick Ross. Well, I don't know if it's called Rick Ross because I know the real Rick Ross. Titty Man. They talked to Titty Man. And this particular guy is a drug dealer. He stated he gave money to Death Row. Then Titty Man repeats it. These are people that, they're not my enemies, but you know we not from the same neighborhood, so you know you ain't gonna give me nothing and I ain't gonna want nothing from you. But that's like constantly trying to dirty a good success story. You want to make it seem like a black man can't build a company unless it was done with illegal money. And that's not true. So when it's all said and done, these people knew the truth. That Michael Harris called the hit on a teenager Jewish kid, and they all participated in killing him. And they used that information to mess up my settlement deal. That's the most, I don't even know no words for it. You can't say I'm telling on the motherfucker because I gave him the opportunity to get out and fix it. You can't say I'm telling on him because he is the 137. They down with the FBI. I'm always taking a loss, but I never lose the fact that who I am and who God made me. Whatever you want to ask me, it's on the table to be asked. Because I can sit in the room with anybody. It's a pleasure to be able to talk to you. And it's the facts of Titty Man running around with all these little extras. I'm not a rapper, so I'm not going to talk bad about the man, Ricky, or whatever you want to call his name. But I do stand for Tupac. He's not here to defend himself. I just recently heard him saying, all eyes on me, all eyes in the coffin, clown and pot. It's not surprising because you Puffy boy. At least you was. One thing about Puffy, I've been knowing Puffy probably more long than most of any of these people here. We didn't hang out together, we didn't talk together, we didn't never party together. If a person drinks, if a person is an alcoholic, he gonna hang with alcoholics. If a person do drugs, he gonna hang with people who do drugs. If Puffy going up in y'all and y'all going up in him, y'all gonna hang with y'all circle. It is so deep when it comes to this. I had preachers, Noel Jones. They won't pay attention to me that much. They gonna put their time into Puffy and go to Puffy house. I can ask one of these guys to pray for me. They say you don't need prayer. I can ask TDJ for a handshake. He wouldn't give it to Suge Knight. But we know what he give Puffy. One thing about this shit, the universe is changing. It's coming to the point where people can't hide anymore. But you know, like I said, it's your show. It's always great to support another black man. So I'm here to answer with any questions you want to ask. One more thing. Attorney Jasmine is definitely a great attorney and honest.
So I gotta ask you, man. I don't want to waste no time. It's been a rumor going around that Pac he was violated in prison, and people they're alleging that you confirmed this. Can you speak on that?
Now, this is the thing. There's no way, to my knowledge, that Tupac ever been violated in prison. When I went to go see Pac for the very first time, and it was his wife named Keisha who made sure I went to go visit him. When I went to go see Pac, it wasn't even about signing him to death row or getting him out of prison. I went to go visit him because he said he needed to see me. When I went to go visit Pac, he said he was never going to rap again. It's over. He said he had no bread. His mother didn't have a place to live. He had something he's publishing. He'll do whatever. And I told him, no, I ain't going to take advantage of it when he up against it. And he should never say he would never rap again. He's too much incredible of a rapper. He got too much influence. And I always felt the same way. He's one of the best rappers to ever do it before he came to death row. And I'm quite sure if it was a situation where he was violated or something, he would have told me. Because I was there to go there anywhere he needed to go there. I ain't from New York, but I got a lot of good friends from New York. So if I say we're going to go, they're going to go. And whoever with them is going to go. I never read anything about Tupac being violated. But I'm going to say it like this. Pac is a real one. And if anybody can get beat up sometime, 10 motherfuckers can beat somebody up. But I'm quite sure if that really would have happened, Pac would have got on him. Or he would have told me about it, and we'd have got on, we'd have took a ride to his homies. It wouldn't have been like no repercussion behind it. But you know, everybody want to talk about the best. You put themselves in that car. Nowadays, you got to start asking people, who is you and where was you at? Because most people doing talking, they say the most craziest things to get some attention to make their name. That's facts. I ain't never going to sit there and say Tupac got his manhood taken in prison. Number one, if that did happen, it's definitely not to my knowledge. I would say no, it didn't happen. But if that did happen, what I'm going to talk about it for? I'm going to be action. The most I ever said regarding that situation is this, plain and simple. And I still stand behind it. I said, hey, even when they said Tupac got raped, you didn't see me talk about it. You didn't see me mention that. But what I did do, for a fact, when I heard certain people were said on the West Coast, who's knocking on their door? And they had some understanding, and they wasn't talking about it no more. But you know, I look at it like words are just alphabets. People can take those alphabets and make them out to any word you want, letter you want to say. That don't mean shit. I'm quite sure a whole bunch of people got some dark sides. But I never believed that about Tupac.
Yeah, I'm happy you spoke on that, man. There's a lot of people running with that. But I want to ask you, who put up Tupac bail money?
That was me 1,000%. How that works is this. I got to deal with Interscope. When I came to Interscope was on their way out. If you go before me doing a deal with Interscope, nobody can tell you who Interscope was, Ted Fields, or Jimmy Iovine. Not no black motherfucker. Like I told Interscope, not only will I make Death Row worldwide, I'm going to make Interscope worldwide. The Chronic was already done. 187 on the Undercover Cop was already done on that soundtrack before I even went to Interscope. My situation with Interscope is this. They basically work for me. Because if they do what Simon says, they're going to listen what he wants. So, a lot of times, buying stuff with a death row check came with a whole bunch of problems. That's a black-owned company. Buying stuff with a Universal or at the time it was MCA or Interscope check, that's a public trade company with white people. So Interscope always owe me money every month, and they have a bankroll of my money. So if I tell Interscope to buy this house, they're going to send the money. But it's still charged to me. So nobody put their money up, guaranteed their money, and did anything to get
You have 60 seconds remaining.
out of prison but me. And if that's the case, why no one else done it? So many people say what they would have did. If it was a fit, we all be Trump. So that's that.
So, Suge, when Tupac got shot in Vegas, right? Y'all was in New York prior to y'all going to Vegas. If you can you give me the backstory where Tupac and Nas had that run-in and how Snoop got on the radio and made some comments that got Tupac mad?
All right, look. We go to New York. It's the MTV Awards. And, I believe in doing everything big. At that point, once Tupac became to be a part of Death Row, the name was changed from Death Row to Untouchable Death Row, if you guys remember. So I ordered a plane. We go to New York. We go to the awards. We went to the awards. We're having a good time. There's a lot of tension there. Pac feeling a certain kind of way because, he felt that the people in New York crossed him. And I had to explain to him every person in New York is not a bad person. Now some of the people who crossed you is weirdos. It's a time for everything. You can't hit the whole New York. He was ready to be a t-boz dude from the Fugees. We was all there. We shut that down, and we went over to the after party. The after party, Pac seen Nas, and Pac went up on Nas at about 100. And him and Nas started conversating. Anybody that know Pac is on gold status. That's all. Pac is going to be either or. Either you're going to go and get it in, or you're going to be a gentleman and be respectful. At that point, he was on gold status. And there was a slave dude named Steve Stouts. Steve Stouts, I'm going to let Pac handle his business. Him and Nas going to have a conversation. Either they're going to hug it out or fight it out. But they two grown-ass men. They two black men. So they having a conversation. Steve starts with talking about calling the police and calling people and breaking it down. So the only person really got super duper checked was weird ass Steve Stouts. Brad ass Steve Stouts would call the police on him. So Pac and Nas had a conversation. Nas didn't push up on Pac. Nas didn't swing on Pac. They had a man-to-man conversation, I'm going to say that. It was understanding. From that conversation, it was good. Real good. Snoop was not there. Once those dudes were scared to go hang out. They wasn't there. For Snoop saying he was there, not true. Anybody else saying they was there, not true. Nas definitely didn't push up on Pac. And Nas definitely put his hands on Pac. one thing we know is go. And we all love Pac. Pac was representing the West Coast. Pac was also representing the East Side, Compton. There was too many homies there to let anything go bad when it came to Pac. But they had an understanding. For Snoop to say he was there, Snoop might as well be switched.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I'm not even going to go there and get on Snoop's situation because everybody know how tight him and Puffy is. Everybody know he's going to lie and say what he's going to say. But nothing happened. And like I said, Pac up there had an understanding of where he's going to have it. Now, fast forward, we back at the hotel. And, you know, everybody got their rooms, and I would have a special room that only person knew that room number is Pac. So I'm in there, and I got my company, a few of those, you know, women in there. And I just banging at the door, throw my boxers on, open the door up. Pac just runs in my room. I'm like, man, what's up? He like, you got a radio? And, you know, he all pumped up. He cut the radio on, and we listened to Snoop on the radio. Snoop is, you know, saying that's Pac on the bush. He'll do a song with Biggie. He'll do a song with Puffy. He'll do all these songs. So Pac was so mad because Pac loved those dudes. He always would ride for them. And he brought it up. He said, man, I just came to fuck with you. But I put everybody on death row. I put everybody on my album. And made sure they was on my album. And Snoop was doing a video in New York called New York, New York. And one of the bad boy dudes was on the radio station talking about they distanced, let's get them. So they went over there and they trailer got shot up. When the trailer got shot up, they called the studio. Me and Pac was in the studio. We got them on speaker. And they saying they trailer got shot up. We sent some homies out there who was already out there to make sure they was good. When we hung the phone, Pac started asking everybody in the room. You know, it's engineers, it's producers, it's, you know, runners. And Pac went around the room. Where you from? Somebody said, okay, I'm from England. Are you good? Where you from? And each person that said they was from the East Coast, Pac fired this shit up. You know, he fired on them. They just tried to kill the homies. Smack! He go to the next person. Where you from? They were from the East Coast. He fired them. They just tried to kill the homies. So Pac brought that up. He said when they tried to, you know, when Biggie them tried to shot their trailer up, he was like, man, you see me beat everybody up from the East Coast in the studio. He said, I get on the front line for them. For this fool to go up there and get on the radio and say, f me, and he riding with them, it's on. So I'm thinking like, Pac on one, let's just, you know, get ready to fly back to the house, right? Every night before I completely turn in, you know, I had a rule. I always had to call my mother, and my mother know I made it. And I would hit Pac, and I would hit Snoop. You good? Yep. You good? Yep. That's it. That means everybody's straight. Now, either I'm going to sleep or I'm having fun, right? So both of these artists was more than just artists to me. They was family to me. So when we got, you know, downstairs, Pac took off on Snoop. Pac ran up on him, did what he did. Snoop ran this way, Pac running behind him. I stopped it. We ain't finna be doing all this in New York, making us all look like we some idiots. I said, we'll have this conversation when we get to the house. We used to call the studio the Red Room. So whatever problem it is, we go in the studio and anybody fight, they fight. Once people walk out that door, it's over. So I told both of them that. I told Snoop, come get in the car, we got to go to the airport. Not the airport, but we had a private plane, still an airport. Snoop refused to ride with Pac is crazy. Snoop rode in the van with the luggage, because we had a van to carry all the luggage, and everybody else was in limos. When we got to the private plane, I tell Pac, save the place for all this. Let's just get to the house and y'all have that conversation later. But Snoop never got on the plane and grabbed no fork or no knife and came by Pac and banged on him and all that type of stuff. Never happened. Pac can call every person out pretty much on death row. Not none of the homies and definitely not me, for his artists. And they all know they turned it down. And Pac done fired on a couple of them. And they know they turned it down. But you know, even though Snoop on this journey full of lies, I'm not here to drag him in the mud. Seems like he already in the mud. But Snoop wasn't trying to run it for Pac at all. And he definitely didn't gangbang on him at all. And for as us going to Vegas to the fight, nobody in our circle or death row doesn't go to the fight, and everybody go to Club 662 after the fight. Everybody. So we were surprised when Snoop didn't show up because they got ringside ticket paid for. We were surprised they wasn't at the club. But later on, we all learned why Snoop did not show up. The crazy thing about all that, it took a cold person, a cold group of people to connect those dots.
From what you know, what made Tupac attack Orlando?
Well, the truth of the matter, it definitely wasn't nobody going to snatch Tupac chain. Number one, we wouldn't allow that. Number two, Pac wouldn't allow that. So it wasn't about no chain snatching.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Something was told to Pac to make Pac go on one. And when you really look at it, we know, everybody know, that was just a plot. That was just a plan. That happened what happened. When you tell somebody like Pac, his eyes on you, and these people getting paid to kill you, he gonna do what he's supposed to do. He gonna go. And what happened, happened. But there was a lot to go along with that it wasn't a coincidence. A lot went on with that people say I had a graze or fragging, but I got a 45 bullet into my skull still today. When things happen, they happen. And don't nothing make that type of movement. But jealousy, greed, and money cost Pac his life, cost me my freedom. Even though it didn't have nothing to violate me on. Even though everybody want to twist the story here and there. I never judge people because I don't hear the words. But now I'm sitting in a place where I got time to listen. And for somebody to sit up there and say that I was there with Orlando, TPD, their lawyer, and my lawyer, I wasn't there because I was already in custody in jail. There's no way I should have got a violation, but I did. And that same violation came back to cross me up again. But all the other stuff everybody talking about, only thing I gotta say is this: stupidity, stupidity, stupidity. Whoever's involved in any of that type of stuff, nobody got. Damn, but y'all got some kind of weird stuff going on. Was it something going off every 2 seconds? Well, anyway, y'all sound like one of those old school drug dealers. But anyway, for that situation, there's been so many people talking about it. It was not there. But Low from OFTV, you didn't have no conversation with Pac. You barely knew him. You was not there. All these lawyers who supposed to be for black people, who want to go and do documentaries and want people to say negative stuff about Pac or me or try to cost other black men up for a few dollars, you wasn't there. I used to have whatever Keefy D was going through, that was on him. All the people he told on his neighborhood or anywhere else, that still was on him. That's Crip business. When it got to the point when I heard now that he's saying this and he's saying that, he's saying this, he's saying that, all the people who were participating with him or being friends with him, that's on them. I have nothing to do with that case. I have nothing to say about that case. I have nothing to do with that case. And they should leave me out of that case because that's not my case. And I have nothing to say. Until I found
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Keefy D was pounding on his chest like King Kong, I still don't want to see another black man either want to put another black man in prison. That's not me. But I tell you this, don't bring me to Loserville. I call Vegas Loserville. Only way I will come to Vegas is sit in somebody's county jail if they can guarantee me that me and Keefy D will be cellies. If that happened, I felt different than the boy. I got 6 punches to the stomach, 6 punches to the head, and 2 in the face. But still, free Keefy D. That ain't me. You'd have to change.
If you can you take me through the moments before you got grazed and Pac got shot? Like, what was y'all talking about? Like, what was y'all listening to and doing, if you don't mind me asking? I know it's a sensitive topic, so,
So, everybody got different versions of what happened, what they thought happened. One of the things that's wrong is, I would say 95% of the movie they did that they called All Eyes on Me was false, fake, not true. And the people that was involved with that movie, people didn't even know Tupac. They might have seen him once or twice. Even if they seen him, they didn't have a conversation with him. Most people who talk about Tupac never met Tupac. They just use Tupac's name to get some fame. But I'll tell you this. I'm not getting all the details of it, but the fact of the matter is this. Yeah, we did get blocked in. Yeah, Frank Alexander said he was involved. Yeah, we did get shot. But we was having a real conversation. I'm like, all right, we're going to go up it this way. And
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Pac was like, let me drive. You bleeding out your head. You can't see. We joking. I'm like, shh. I know how to drive. He said, well, I'm going to take this oldies out you always listen to, and I'm going to put the song in. He says, it's my song to you. And the song started playing. I said, well, that's more like I'm talking to you than you talking to me. I was taking your collect calls. So Pac put on a song called You Ain't Never Had a Friend Like Me. And we was bumping that. And it wasn't a situation where I hit my tires or something happened. They tried to kill us again and ran us off the road. And what happened on the strip. And so many people was claiming the club opened back up, but this happened. Most of all the people who have a story, I don't know who all have a story, but a lot of people who had a story was lying to try to cover their own asses. But I tell you this, there's some people that I talked to, and I heard this shit. They even seen small videos of their stuff. Those people are so dead on that what really happened that night, how Tupac really got assassinated, step by step by step. When I heard it, when I seen some of it, it took me right back to the 90s. I never in my whole life entered a time zone like that. And when I say this, it shows you who blocked somebody in, who did what, who was involved, who played a part, who didn't follow us, who didn't come to the hospital, who got paid, who snitched on each other, who told on each other, and who was on one side, but really with the other side. I never, in my whole journey of living, seen something so dead on. And they're supposed to be having this coming out pretty soon. And I will get in the details of it, but it's way too aggressive for a phone call out of prison. It did. This is crazy. So it's so dead on. Some people better start ordering them a plane now. Going to be with Russell Simmons after Russell Simmons raped all those boys and girls. It's crazy.
Suge, how you feel about the people that say Pac was going to lead Death Row?
Well, this is the thing. Some of it is right, but most of it is wrong. So what I mean by that, Tupac never wanted to leave Death Row. I mean, me and that dude was tighter than tight. You know, over the years, you have people who was 13 years old, or 14 years old, and they say Tupac had a conversation with him. Not. I'm not going to say no names. Tupac not going to talk to a kid about making a strong business move. Kadada and Quincy Quincy, rest in peace, but the truth is the truth. Never was going to be involved with Quincy Jones and Kadada with a label. I was there, really there at that dinner. I was really there when Kadada was cool with it and Quincy Jones wanted Tupac to run him, spend the night with him. Pac never would have fucked with him. Kadada wanted to bring Quincy to meet with Pac. Pac said, he told me, you my big brother. I don't have no father. Come on. So they was thrown off a little bit. We all sat at the tables and Kadada know the truth. And Quincy wanted Pac to spend the night to get to know him. And then Pac being Pac saying, well, you know, me and Kadada going to be making noise. And then Kadada said, I'm not going to be there. And Pac said, well, I'm going to sleep at. Quincy stay with me in my bed. Hey, but you know, I ain't trying to throw Tim and Campbell on the bus and a whole bunch of the rest of them, but I'm quite sure they can all tell that story. I was there when Kadada acted like she was pregnant. And Tupac never had sex with her without a condom. How I know that? Because Kadada said that. How I know that? Because Pac said that. So that wasn't true. But what I will say is the truth is that after the situation with Snoop, Pac said, look, let's not trust them. Let's get rid of them. You don't need none of them. None of them. It's me and you. We can make this shit happen. We're going to do music. We're going to do the movies. We're going to do the merchandise. We're going to do it all. He said, you already manage me. We're already doing everything together. He said, but if we ever do something as a label, because I gave Tupac, I gave all my people their own labels. The reason why I did that, because I want them to grow. I want to be MCA, Epic, and Sony, and Warner Brothers, and Capitol, Arista. Why a black man can't be that? But besides that, Pac wanted to drop the name from Death Row to the Row. He was like death to those weirdos. So he never, not one time, ever said he wanted to leave Death Row. Besides that, technically, Pac wasn't on Death Row. Pac was signed to Interscope, to one of the worst deals you can have in the music business. And he might have been getting 6, 7 points, or 8 points. I was getting $1 or $2. And Interscope paid $1 million for a video. They charged Pac the whole $1 million for the video. If I spent $1 million for the video, Pac paid half, I'll pay half. So I could have declined to keep Pac on Death Row and let him stay on Interscope, and I would have made more money, way more money. But the Interscope gave him an incredible bullshit-ass deal. And we can put the deals together, you can see for yourself. But, as usual, everybody want to make it a negative. And you have all these different people who had all these comments. They would have bailed Tupac out. They would have did this for Pac. Okay, why nobody did nothing? Or they love Pac. So when Tupac got a star on a Hollywood Walk of Fame, why none of you motherfuckers came? These with Biggie, they made songs about him. Name one artist from Death Row contribute a song to Tupac. Snoop, we put out 2 unreleased Tupac's albums. Name one song that you was on. Gas, Corrupt, maybe I don't know. Any of you people, or anybody else. Everybody got an opinion. But you know, Their opinion is like a mouth with a penis when they put in it. They on some puffy shit. But all this different things make no sense to me. I don't defend myself, and I don't feel the need to have to talk about it because I know me and Pac's relationship. It was built on trust and loyalty. And I know one thing. Everybody can make me to be a bad man and say that I had something to do with Pac getting shot or Pac dying. I tell you this. If me and Tupac together, that's my little brother, that's my little homie, if he fighting 50 motherfuckers, he getting beat up, I'm going to be fighting 50 people with him, and we both going to be bloody fighting together. Even if we get beat up together, we're going to get beat up together. If Tupac gets shot, and I'm there, we both going to be shot. But they're still saying, I'm the one who had him shot. But the next person who claims they close with their artist, if their artist getting their ass whooped, they're going to leave them. If they feel somebody going to shoot their artist, they're not going to be in the same car. Not on my watch. I'm going to ride with him. If it means I'm a...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You know, I must say, at the time I thought that could be one of the worst things in the world. Tupac to leave. I was being selfish. Pac never wanted to go back to prison. He used to tell the outlaws, shoot me, kill me. I don't want to go back to prison. I want to die first. The reason why he didn't want to kill himself, because he believed if he killed himself, he don't go to paradise. He don't go to heaven. But he used to call them pussies and say they were scared to, kill him. Everybody have a story. Everybody say, hey, Pac wasn't this, Pac wasn't that. But they never met him. They didn't know him. They talk bad about Pac. I'm on the east side. I love all my homies. Yeah, we got some rats. We got some pieces of shit. But I don't got to put them.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Because they always was down. They was born down on the ground. But then people are tough. Everybody making a living off Pac. Still today. You get a guy to say he lived in Malibu with Pac and never met Pac. But he's telling everybody, even the Kardashians, having keeping up the Kardashians because he told them that, hey, he could live with Pac. Pac never met that dude. Only thing I gotta say is that there'll never be another Pac. So don't try to be that person. He already did it. It can be done over.
I always heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that the artist on Death Row was jealous of Tupac.
Any artist, not only was they jealous of Tupac, some of them participated in the dark some of them participated in the downfall of Tupac. If you listen to those interviews, they're telling on themselves. If you listen to those interviews, it's a recording. If I was a real asshole, well, the asshole I used to be, Snoop know. This recording is so deep. If that was out, he might as well put handcuffs on himself. Because the things he said about Tupac, you would know. But jealousy is worse than hate. When a person hates you, they just hate you. When a person is jealous of you, They can never sleep or rest. All those artists was jealous of Tupac. Tupac was Death Row. If Tupac would be here today, Tupac would have been the person running Death Row. If Tupac was here, you know, Tupac wanted to sign Aaliyah. I took Tupac to go see Gladys Knight. Aaliyah performed. He loved Gladys Knight performance. And he loved Aaliyah performance. So Tupac was a businessman, a loyal brother, a loyal friend, and you always can depend on him. So if Tupac wanted to leave Death Row, shit, I would embrace him, give him a hug, and let him left Death Row. Tupac didn't want to go nowhere. But there's a lot of people that Tupac wasn't fucking with. He wrote letters to him. And he signed his name. He never said one to me. He never said one to Death Row. Only person.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Only person lost by Tupac not being here is me. Everyone else benefited. Tupac's mother became Tupac. She was making the money that Tupac would have been getting. The outlaws, and all the outlaws didn't know Tupac and was hanging with Tupac. So there's so many outlaws, you don't know which is which. But they benefit by saying they really part of Tupac. They even get other people who never met Tupac lying and saying that he stayed with Tupac. Lawyers benefited when Tupac passed away. Interscope benefited when Tupac passed away. Secretaries benefited when Tupac passed away. Only person's life got worse when Tupac passed away was mine. They sent me to prison. They took my freedom. If I was Pepsi Cola and a white man, I would still have my company. If I'm a black man, I didn't do not one thing to lose my company. Not only did I not do one thing to lose my company, they stole stuff from my company and purposely I went to these people and said, look, they're going to throw this judgment out against me. Number one, they filed for bankruptcy in 95 and didn't mention that they had any ownerships in Death Row. Matter of fact, when Lydia Harris, and the judge asked Lydia Harris, do she have anything with Death Row? Do she have a partner? She said, yeah, my partner is the attorney. And she said, David. So she had half of the judgment, and he had half of the judgment. And he was my lawyer, and he was her lawyer, and she filed for bankruptcy, and he filed for bankruptcy. And neither one of them was able to say they had anything to do with my company because they didn't mention it on their bankruptcy. And they had trustees. The average person would put them in, you can go to prison for that. But they didn't. Also, if you got a car worth $1 million, or a car, you got something, you just say a Rolls Royce, they're worth $500,000, brand new, and you can't sell that car for $5,000. Reason why they sold Death Row so cheap, even though I had a buyer want to give $500 million, $700 million, they sold Death Row so cheap because they didn't want to pay me. Because after all this is done, I did a Chapter 11. After all was said and done, paying the creditors, all the other money comes to me. One of the reasons why they tried to kill me more than once is behind the money. I'm in prison right now. And the people who pulled guns on me, which is the proof, and tried to kill me, they got checks from Andre Young. Not from his business account, not from the movie people, not from the production company, who these guys were getting $150 a day. They got $20,000 and more checks. And when they got these checks, these men, who was rapists and weirdos, said he gave them the money to kill me. When they gave Bone immunity and he walked out the chambers with the judge, I said, oh, he going to tell the truth and let me go. Because wherever we got to finish up, I don't got to say nothing about him. I don't got to say nothing to me. We holler another day. Instead, they didn't let me put on a defense. I had a paid attorney. The judge tell my paid attorney, I never had a public defender in my whole career of crime. Well, so they say a crime, or getting in trouble. And I had a paid attorney. The judge tells my paid attorney, I don't think you've been practicing long enough to represent Mr. Knight. He said,
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I'm going to get rid of you, fire you, and give Mr. Knight, attorney I've been knowing 40 years, that's a public pretender that worked for us. And that dump truck never let me go to trial, never did anything. It made me take a deal. Then I had a civil case, and they got the proof that the person handed the next man a gun, and the man who had the gun told him, I can tell you what type of gun it is. Just the gun he gave me. I put it in my back waistband and pulled a shirt over, and it shows in the video. They both let me go. But, once again, I'm a black man. So I got to fight for everything. That's where we at. Any other questions?
Yeah, I want to back up to the comments you made about Aaliyah, because I never knew Tupac and Aaliyah knew each other. So Pac, you was a big fan of hers.
Yeah, we had a thing that I used to listen to oldies and Pac used to listen to rap. And he didn't like oldies. So I said, man, I got to show you what oldies about. So I took Tupac to go see Gladys Knight perform in Loserville. Loserville is Vegas. So when she was performing, she brought out her niece by marriage. And Aaliyah started singing. And Tupac said, don't get up, don't get up. I said, why? He said, because Gladys Knight know you. You're going to speak to Gladys Knight. Then you're going to talk to the little girl singing. The next thing you know, you're going to be doing an album on her. He said, I'm going to go talk to her. You come later on because I want to do an album on Aaliyah. He didn't know her name. So Pac was so excited. I'm talking about, I ain't never seen that little motherfucker so happy. He wasn't thinking about signing nobody else. That's the person he said out of all the girls and women he ever seen, he thought she was the biggest star and had the best voice ever. So I figured if things would have happened the way it happened, Pac would have been doing an album on Aaliyah. Me and that dude spent hours and hours and days together. Me personally, I never seen him get so excited about no female artist. No, not even. I never even seen Pac even talking to a female artist or doing anything with a female artist. He talked to Storm for a minute, and he might have spoke to some of the girls for a minute, but I never seen him pretty much lose his mind. He lost his mind over there. He talked about her days and days. I got tired of hearing him talking about that little girl. He said, man, I got this song I want to do with her. I'm going to do this song on her. I'm going to do that song on her. He was super, super, super excited. That's would have been a beautiful thing. That was one of the most things I ever seen Pac get excited about, was being able to do something with Aaliyah.
How you feel about the passing of Irv Gotti? And if you can you tell me about the company that you, Irv Gotti, and Jay Prince was making? And Diddy, he told the feds on y'all?
Well, we lost a good one. When I say we, I say everybody. The passing of Irv.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Me and Irv was definitely friends. And the saddest thing about all this is that we all so individually talented, individually smart. But together, we stronger together. That's us as, the culture of hip hop, the culture of black men, and the ghetto. That's where we all start from. And I take full responsibilities of my actions. I did a lot of things in my career to also cause pain, to also cause problems. But I think I did more good than bad. But Irv understood hard work. He understood giving people opportunities like the rest of us. If I could turn back the hands of time and go way back down memory lane, no one person is bigger than that black community. No one person. One person is not stronger than hip hop. We're all a part of hip hop. And if we had Easy and Ruthless, Irv and Murder Inc., Luke and his shit, Rap-A-Lot, G-Unit. It's so many to name, but it's Death Row. If we all got along and built each other, and I'm not even going to forget Bad Boy. I felt I played a part to help build Bad Boy. And what's a little short midget dude? Oh, Jermaine Dupri. It's so many that if I left some names out, shit, my bad. But I tell you, like, oh yeah, Cash Money. Shout out to Birdman. We have so much power. Even the new people with the Kendrick Lamar's and Top Dog, his people, Young Money. We can go on and on and on. Look how powerful it would be. So I called a meeting. I said, look, it's only 6 major companies who distribute our music. We're giving them too much power. They don't like us. They're controlling us. They're going to turn us against each other. So, Irv, even before Irv started, but even afterwards, we had these conversations. Lil J, Puffy, me, the list went on. I called an emergency meeting and we all talked about it. I said, let's start a distribution company. And we can call this distribution company the Lucky 7. It's for our people. We control the industry. That's how we control the industry. That's because all these companies need us to either do a remix, produce something, or have guest appearances from one of our artists. The ghetto might not buy all the music, but the white world, the rich kids buy all the music. But if the ghetto don't say it's good, the rich kids gonna say it's not good. And we was on our way to something very, very amazing. Everybody would be. We probably could have owned a couple of basketball teams, a couple of football teams by now. And we was all in. Puffy said, well, I'm not worried about Astor and all these people I see. I'm worried about the white people going to pull up in the trucks in our front yard. That's all. This old soft-ass nigga. Then everybody else started making excuses. After that conversation, it was all out war on Suge Knight. If they went back and told their masters, I ain't saying all of them, but most of them, they went back and told their masters, Master, Suge Knight on ownership. He want to be you. I didn't want to be them. I want to be better than them. I want to build something that my kids can be proud of, my grandkids can be proud of. I want to build something that we can have unity that we never ever had. If we was able to do that, there wouldn't be no West Coast, no East Coast, no down South, no Midwest. White America is powerful because black people act like they don't care about black people. You know, I failed. I take full responsibility. Andre had a baby mother named Lisa. I remember when she had 3 kids by Andre. And I went to go visit him because he wasn't choosing to do anything for him. And there were 3 black queens, a little girl, and the mother was also a great mother. When I went over there, I started walking up the stairs. I had something small on me. It was so bad, I had to go back to the car and get something bigger to walk up the stairs. And I talked to him and bought him pizza and all the stuff and, you know, looked out for him. And told Andre he needed to continue to look out for him. And he said, oh, man, I know how to deal with her. And I'm like, what do you mean, man? That's a black woman. Treat her like a queen. He said, shit, I beat her ass, I beat her up. I said, I don't want to hear all that. So he was bragging how he used to beat her up. And then he'd go over there and he enjoyed it more if he beat her up than raped her. So I thought he was just shooting the shit off some drinks just talking. Then recently found out that he was telling the truth. And Lisa said that not only did he beat her up, but she didn't want to have sex, he raped her and she had kids or a child. And recently, she contacted different lawyers because it's been eating her up like it would eat up any other black woman. And all the lawyers, unless something happened in the last 2 weeks, nobody wanted her case. Nobody wanted the case because they know if you come for Andre, Jimmy Iovine coming for you. And all the lawyers who all stick together refuses this woman and laughed at her. It was another situation where a girl named April and her friend both have been the one who found out that Andre was messing with April. Andre finds out, cussed the friend out, threatened her, he's going to do all these crazy things to her. Then let a gang member call her, threatening her he's going to do all these crazy things to her. The girl had it recorded, brought it to a lawyer. Michael Harris took it and gave it to Andre to destroy right before the Super Bowl. E. Barnes can get the shit beat out of her and damn near die. I was there. I stopped it. Eminem can talk about it in the song. It made it so bad, it caused so much stress on the homie Ricky Harris, Pat Al, he ended up dying from a heart attack. But instead, the sign is this. If you black and strong, you're on your own. If you black and weak and listen to Interscope, you're protected. They gave Andre the Impact Award. Alicia Keys should have left that word on stage. She should realize all the black women, and I'm not exaggerating, have been shot, beat up, raped, and everything else. We got to make better decisions. We got to start loving each other instead of hating each other. Every black lawyer in the business doesn't fight for us. They're against us.
Suge, I want to play some comments that Jada made about you in her book, and I want to come back and get your reaction.
To make matters worse, at the private memorial a Faney chose to have in Jasmine's backyard, I answered the door, and it was Suge, who delivered Pac's ashes into my very hands. In the cardboard box one is given by the crematorium. I'll never forget the slight smile in his eyes when he handed me that box, like, "There's your homie, homie." Now, I could be putting 20 on 10 because of the state I was in. Between Suge's smirk as he handed me those ashes and my assumptions about Suge's involvement in what happened to Tupac, I might have been putting a lot of color on the moment. But I tell you what, and I do myself no good to say it, I wanted him to pay.
Okay, this is the thing, right? First thing first. Mental health is very serious. The only thing worse than mental health is a bald-headed bitch on motherfucking meth. And I can say that because Will, and nigga, you ain't gonna slap the slapper. Shit, you got it fucked up. And when all this shit come out about where people feel they can just speak their mind and talk about Pac the way they talk about Pac for publicity, when it's a bunch of motherfucking lies. I'm not mad about it, because like I said, for 30 years, I lost millions of dollars, my freedom, over the fact that they said I'm the one did that to Pac, and I got a 45 bullet into my skull. You know, anybody who doubts that, put y'all money up, and I can show you the X-ray where that bullet's still in my skull. Is it that bad out there? Is it that motherfucking bad that we got to start lying? What happened to the hard work when people go in and really do an album? What happened to the hard work when people really go in and really be an actor or actress or really be on their shit? Everybody want to be something they not. I only want to be me. I don't hate my motherfucking self. I don't want to change. I do want to improve myself, because improvement is we all can use. But stupid ass shit like that, no matter what, I'm going to tell you, Jada, and I'm going to tell you the rest of the weirdos who want that bullshit. Two things I'm going to let you know. You can get rich with the devil's money, but you only can be happy with God's money. Yes, that Illuminati is real, but these motherfuckers are miserable. You know, I guarantee you this. I'm way more happy than the majority of you motherfuckers when I'm in prison. I got more food in my cell than y'all probably got in y'all house. At the same time, I'm a man. I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm going to own them. I ain't going to argue with no young motherfuckers, no young people. But my age bracket, I'm in way better shape than you. I'm a way smarter individual than you. I don't have to tell nobody's story but my own story. The reason why everybody's so mad, because all these years, over 10 years now, y'all been telling something that you weren't involved in. Y'all been saying things that you didn't do. Y'all riding around that you didn't earn it. If you see me driving something, I bought it. Ain't no games. And I never was on my knees to get a better deal. Period.
But when Pac was around you, right, did he ever bring up Jada? Like, how did he feel about it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, shit, there wasn't no secrets. Everybody liked the Jada. We all liked the Jada. We all have respect for Jada. Jada was the homegirl. And then Pac was, shit, she was blowing Pac shit up. You know, those was the beeper days and the phone days. She gonna blow the phone up, she gonna blow the pager up. And Pac used to always say, Jada, I'm gonna come over there and beat Will's motherfucking ass. You know Will's a fag. That's the word Pac used, you know. But I ain't gonna put Will down because me and Will straight and fuck it. The truth is the truth. And Jada used to always says, oh, I love you too, Pac. We don't got a real marriage. It's an arrangement. He got the one, you know, he got his boyfriend and she got her girlfriends and that's that. But we all have respect for Jada. I have to respect for Jada till I heard her say some weird shit. But Jada, now you know the truth. Who's behind, what's behind. So, are you still dating number one thing? Because if you really know, and we know you know, you still friends with these people. So it's no either or. If you love Tupac, how could you love the people who was involved with his death?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I'm not saying you got to go do something, but you don't got to party with them. You got to go for all the fake motherfuckers.
I want to ask you about Faith, right? From your point of view, did Pac sleep with her?
Well, ain't from my point of view. It's facts. And I'm saying this in a way that, you know, I believe in giving a woman, a black woman, I think all black women is a queen. I love all women. Shit. There ain't no Diddy over this way. So it's like, I never had anything to speak on that until Faith started lying. She should have just left it as, don't say nothing, nobody else say nothing. What they was doing, including fucking, is nothing to talk about. So, I'm not going to sit there and say I was part of having sex with her. But I tell you like this. Hit 'em Up came because of them. We had a whole different lyrics on that track. Faith and somebody else. The other person is a pretty New York girl, and I'm not here to throw her on the bus, but she was very enjoyable, very beautiful, and very smart. And she got a baby by a guy who liked to dance. So her and Faith were friends. So Pac was always talking shit. But him and, you know, I know that Pac still had love for Biggie. On the simple fact they were too close of friends, but he just felt they let him down when the shit happened to him. So when I was telling him, he said, man, when he found out who I was messing with, he's like, man, you always doing some crazy shit that nobody else can do. He says, well, get me faith. He said, you say you can do everything. They say,
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Pac said, Simon said, and then it happens. He said, give me faith. So, when he looked up, Faith was walking inside the studio. They had fun. They was in rooms together. They'd been together more than once. Pac is like me. He not gonna say something he didn't do. So when they heard the track, they wouldn't tell those other dudes. That's when they did that song, Get Money, the Junior Mafia, Lil Kim, whatever that shit was. So Pac was so mad, that's how Hit 'Em Up was born. So the question is, Faith, your secret's safe with me. Watch your mouth. You still on the West. Don't be tough. Just let it go. People stop talking about it. Sometimes people should be happy that they had a legend deep up in them. I don't know how deep. I wasn't there. Well, I was there, but I wasn't watching. I just heard it. Doing my own thing. So the question would be or the answer is, Faith, no.
You and Left Eye dated, right?
Left Eye is a very, very, very special woman. Very smart. Very sexy. She's the only one out the group TLC who wasn't messing with L.A. Reid.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
We could say allegedly, but the only person in the group that L.A. Reid wasn't going up in was Left Eye. Chili and t-boz is probably something different. Yeah, I had all the love in the world for Lisa. We changed her name to Nina, but she told me she was a 9 millimeter for me. I could bust on her and she'd bust on anybody else. With a gun, of course. And that's Left Eye. Rest in peace, Lisa. I'm not going to do too much telling and too much talking, but I had Chili and her mother and TJ with me. Yeah, TJ. Fucking love. Both. I'm in Donovan prison right now. TJ right across the way. They were both in TJ, Mexico. TJ. Mother and daughter. Hey, ain't in there for telling. TJ, drunken love, mother and daughter. Have one, have both. Shit.
Keisha Cole, she did an interview a while back saying that Tupac told her when she was 14 that he was leaving Death Row and he wanted her to come with him because he was planning on signing with Quincy Jones.
Well, first of all, it's never a hard question for me. But that's a hard question for me because of the fact that how much love I have for Keisha. But I'm going to answer that because it's not true. The reason why I know it's not to be true is that Keisha get a lot of pressure. What I mean by that, when people go talk to Arsenio, Mr. Potato Head, Steve Harvey. When they go talk to Steve Harvey, he tell them don't mention me, mention this person, mention that person. But I feel I knew Pac better than anyone knew Pac. That's how tight our bond was. And shit, at that time, 90% of the time, when we together, And if he had a conversation with somebody on a one-on-one, I would know. I know Pac is not going to take a 14-year-old child and have a conversation about any business moves he's doing. And like I always said, Pac wasn't strapped down to death row. If Pac wanted to leave death row, he could have said, "Hey, big homie, shit, let's cash in. I want to do something else." Like I said before, I gave him a label already. And if you guys I just knew Pac not the type to want to do some weirdo shit and leave in bad terms when the only person that ever helped him was me. I know Pac also had too much respect for the homies to do some backstabbing shit because it could have got ugly. Now, if you mean to tell me that he gonna go to a 14-year-old child and tell her something that deep, I just can't never see that happening. And Keisha's great. Only time I ever said something when she did a song with Puffy. You know, I mean, like, we all putting these things up here, and I'm not, and I ain't picking on Keisha because I care too much about her, but I'm talking about me. I'm not going to go do a song with somebody that I know that was against Pac, and Pac was against them. And guilty conscience shows it all. I don't have a guilty conscience. But once again, did Snoop ever do any songs on the unreleased Tupac album came out? Or any of those other motherfuckers? No. When they got their star, was they there? No. Was Ray J thinking about Tupac when he was vacationing with him? Let's back to Ray J. Ray J, you and Puffy did a song, what you call him Diddy. You and Puffy did a song, 11 Brothers. A whole album. Is it ever going to come out? Could we hear any of the songs? What y'all really was talking about? How important was the baby oil? But no, I would say that's like 1,000,001 that didn't happen. Tupac leaving death row if Tupac wouldn't be on death row, I would make way more money off of Tupac. And you got to remember one thing: 20% of the management, anything. Now, if he wasn't an artist on death row, I would still get 20%, 20% of the merchandise, 20% of everything else. When Tupac wanted to do a movie, no insurance company will pay for the movie, post the insurance. I put the $5 million up out of my pocket, covered it. So
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I think this conversation is more about how we gonna fix this stuff, bro. This conversation more about people standing on what they need to be standing on. It's gonna get to the point where you guys using this to cause all these wars. That's why I'm the first one to say, I'm gonna say this, and I never mention everybody's names. Everybody started off as respecting each other, trying to help each other. Somebody told another person that somebody was trying to steal their shine and cause a war between us all. Not me, because I'm not in the war. Because I ain't that type of man. But it was a lie. Now you got everybody hating each other. Then at the same time, you got these sponsors and everybody shows, everybody podcasts, running all these advertisements. And the advertisers you running to these people,
you have 60 seconds remaining.
Either getting killed or they going to prison forever. And it's lie after lie after lie. Y'all gotta start being accountable. It's just crazy how when you try to do something positive, it always comes back negative. And I did a lot of things in my life, and I take accountable for everything I did and everything I do. But the more you try to be positive with God, the more some of these weirdos want to lie. What I mean by that, I treated Ray J like a man should treat a younger man. And for him to go on Glad or this other guy's show, and he asked me questions, and I say, look, don't go on nobody's show talking about the real Death Row, Tupac, or myself. And the reason why I said that, because he wasn't around then. You know, Ray J went to home study. He didn't go to elementary school, junior high school, high school. He was a child actor. So he don't know those things. And to go on there and speak on stuff, even when it comes to Snoop, Ray J, all these calls are recorded. All the stuff we be talking about, or y'all talk about, bringing me saying what Snoop said he had something to do with the homie, and all this, and Baby Style. Everybody throwing gossiping, playing these games. I try my best to be a bigger man, even to forgive every person I can possibly forgive and move on in my life. I did my best to find something good to say about Snoop, or I wasn't saying nothing at all. I know he didn't want it, because he wouldn't be on the run. But when all you guys tell me, everybody play both sides, and let him be talking and recording, and when he goes and y'all had y'all little joke, murder was the case, the murder for hire, Tupac rest in peace, what that mean? Because y'all pounding y'all chest about it. Ray J. Reason why I started in Can-Am, and the reason why I started in Can-Am, and it's a situation where I had to find a studio where I could build out a bedroom, a bathroom, a shower. Since you idiots don't know, I had house arrest. So I figured if I'm going to have to do house arrest, I would be doing it at the studio before I can work. I know everybody claimed they was in the studio, but we know who be in that studio. So I need to be there. That being said, Ray J, as my homie I love more than anything, rest in peace, Pooh Rider, the one used to call you Ray Dog. Now I'll get to that in a minute. But Brother Rim was not done at Can-Am. It's the Platts, it's a studio to show where it was done at. Doggy Star wasn't done there. The Chronic wasn't done there. Only album was technically really done there was All Eyes on Me. And Ray J, you've never been in the studio with us, nor Pac. Never. When it comes to anybody in my past, everybody got a problem with the past because today they live in a lie.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Anything you check, you're going to see the credits on that album. Anything you see made that company, you're going to see who made that company. But when it comes to Ray J, you saying you got my life right. Let me tell you something, little boy. Now I'm going to tell you the truth. First of all, now you playing with my kids and my family, so we're going to play with yours. Since you say you got my life right and you trying to mess up the money that my family gets, now I'm going to sue your little punk ass. And I'm going to get every dime you get. Every dime your mama hide for you and everybody else. Now let's break it all the way down. I love Danny Boy. Danny Boy not my biological son, but I always loved Danny Boy as a son. But you get up there and say that you didn't know Danny Boy was gay, right there. You knew Danny Boy was gay when Danny Boy was slipping and slide. What I love about Danny Boy, he owns it. And I'm proud of him for that. And I'm not running for that. That's who he was. That's who he is. Now, I call Pooh Ryder, like we all call Pooh Ryder that. All of us who know him and love him. Because Pooh was a rider. I'm going to say this, I'm going to get off you, Ray J. But you call him Pooh Ryder because you know what he was riding. You. All those things you said about Puffy and all what's going on, how Puffy was bragging about he had something to do with the homie not being here. And I'm telling you, this is a recording penitentiary phone call. For you to record me, because I'm telling you, whatever I say once, I can say twice. When I told you, since you fuck with Snoop, you fuck with Puffy. You was living with Puffy. Y'all was sharing beds. I said, don't go in there talking about Pac, because you fuck with his enemies. That's what I said. I believe that a man should be able to forgive. Every person relying on me, I forgave them. Y'all been doing these shows, these podcasts, telling lie after lie after lie. The man that say Tupac's father, look here, old dude. Bet you one time in Loserville. That's Vegas. You came up, you asked for some cocaine and a burner. I said, everybody out here got burners. So you can say what he said or what he did and what he do and what didn't happen. You're an idiot on a simple fact that you went in the man's life to know what he was talking about, what he was saying about, how he was living, but now you want to know what he said at the end? Only person was in that car when him and I was having a conversation was me and Pop.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I ain't here to take nobody credit. It's just one truth. If all the police and everybody else can say who shot us, who shot the gun and killed Tupac, idiots. They sent me to prison for 9 years, and that same case came back to hunt me in this case. When y'all officers, Las Vegas officers, got on the stand and said, you didn't even know I got shot. They weren't looking at none of those dudes because nobody knew. But now y'all having stories and getting paid to get up there and talk on that platform. I'm going to tell you like this. Even though I wasn't there when Orlando Anderson sued Tupac for fucking him up, I know he didn't shoot Tupac. So he got paid his money. I would never tell on another man, but I tell you what, if he was the one to shoot Tupac, or shot Tupac, or killed Tupac, I would have told the lawyers when they came to see me, because I was in the county jail, we ain't giving them shit because he's suing them. Because the fact that he would have did what he done. And it could have been easy to stop that. That's all I had to do is tell the lawyers, okay, he's suing because he whipped his ass. How could he sue him if he's saying he shot him or he was in the car? But at the end of the day, everybody want to make themselves be famous or get some views for a few seconds and throw that man's name through the mud when I'm telling you, only person in that motherfucking car was me and Pac. Lando Anderson did not shoot neither one of us. Oh, y'all want to make it sound good. But I don't care if it was law enforcement said that. I don't care if it was some groupie said that. Some nut rider said that. They was not in the car. Only him and I was. I've said this before. It's a man and his wife. I don't want to say their name because they would say their own name. They got the real story about Vegas and Tupac. And they dead on. I'm going to say something about singing Danny Boy. And this ain't no disrespect. DB, you know what's up. But Danny Boy is a cold player, man. All those dudes know Danny Boy in and out on him. In and out. In and out. Out and in. Shit. Making them think they're a woman. So everybody want to throw Danny Boy in the bus and be like, oh, he was the gay one. Okay. Who was hanging with Danny Boy? Who was hanging with Puffy? You know, this is a big-ass world but a small-ass circle. I know for a fact, and they know. So now you know. But record me when I'm calling you motherfuckers, when I tell you, don't record me, and I'll holler at you. Or even when it got to the point where I took a step as a bigger man. You know, my mother, bless her soul, always told me that if God can forgive, I can forgive. I miss my mother every day. I love my mother so much. The woman I want to be with, the woman I'm going to be with, the woman who I'll be sharing stories with is the fact that they do, or they got to have something that reminds me of my mother. The way my mother acts, the way my mother walked, the way my mother carried herself. My mother set the standards. My mother used to come visit me every time I'm in jail, every time I'm in prison, every holiday. Mother's Day, she gonna be with me. She got other kids on the streets. So my mother raised me the right way. And I learned more as much as I can learn.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I'd be a man and forgive other men who trying to be on a platform who's not telling the truth. And then when they want to record you for a few dollars, that's weirdo shit. It's about to cut off. Before it cut off, I'm going to say this before it cut off, I'm going to call back. They need to bring it back to the Arsenio Hall days, all those type of people when they're doing interviews. Because if they're not allowed to do interviews face-to-face in the same room, you shouldn't do interviews at all. And you know, one more thing. It's like this. I ain't never known Danny Boy to lie. Now, Danny Boy might get some shit confused and think somebody said something about him, and he might go on one or whatever. But Danny Boy, Ray J, Young Buck, they say Baby Styles, E, it was one of those other dudes. Well, anyway, Danny Boy would tell them in their face and said it more than once. Who get the best head better than the bitch? Number one. Danny Boy, I ain't never, like I said, I ain't never known him to lie. But at the same time, Puffy and Ray J was living together. When Corona came and everybody's being quarantined, shit, that Miami Beach house, Store Island, was their playground. All sudden, when you try to get brownie points from these dudes, it makes no sense. I'm starting to figure that the more you try to be positive, the more they want you to be negative. I do want to come home and be with my family. But I'm always going to stand on facts and on my hands. If y'all want to get dirty with it, and I ain't talking about that sex shit y'all be doing. I'm talking about the real live shit. It is what it is. Ray J, I don't want to be the one to push you over the edge and make you commit suicide or something. I'd be lying if I say your life don't mean nothing to me, because it do. Been knowing you since you was a little bitty boy. But Ray J, you was born in 81. You said Tupac came to your 21st birthday. How is that if you born in 81 and your 21st birthday had to be around 2002 or somewhere along those lines? Pac passed away and went to heaven in 96. Where are you going with this? Another thing, Ray J. You posted a thing up there when you came to visit me in prison and they didn't let you in because whatever y'all was doing in the car, and to do a book deal. All the phone calls recorded. Just a book deal. That's all you wanted to do. So I agreed to do that. The lawyer left out with the paperwork. I'm quite sure the paperwork you posted. At the same time, you and another gentleman were doing some activities in the car. That's why you weren't allowed to come in. Because he came to talk to me, he was going to go back and get you, and they said, y'all was on some weirdo shit. And I ain't going to put that out there, but you know what it is, and you know what they said it is. But at the same time, I got the proof to show you. The time they got out of jail, if that was a whole other lie you lied on everybody about, you signed the right back over. But you go on these shows and you go on these live things and you try to interfere with my family got going on. But I'm going to show you how grown people do it. The lawyer going to sue you for $200 million for lying. Also, Lil Ray, you need prayer, little homie. Everybody should be praying for you. They should double down to make sure you do like mandatory drug testing every day, because meth only stay in your system for, I guess, 2 days. That's what I heard. Every day. That princess took the wheel. That'll drive you back to safety. You got a gangster in that bitch. Also, everybody speak on Left Eye and Tupac, who's definitely not here to defend themselves and be their voice. Left Eye is the homegirl, Lisa, Nina, as we call her. Really close to me. Really a great person. Everybody talking about death row situations, Left Eye situations. These are things that people talk about that never been in their presence. I've never met them. I was not there. You ran across a few things, Ray J, because the motherfucker treats you with respect and bring you around. It's not for no clown shit. I'm starting to wonder now. Same circus, different clowns. It's not too late. People should do stories about their own life, not my life. I'm quite sure it's some interesting things that you guys can put together and tell your story. It's for me to tell my motherfucking story. When it comes to the part where you talk about Left Eye had a problem, if he died because of me, that's a lie. But let's talk about some facts. Whitney Houston, it's on your hands. I remember the conversation when she thought her life was in the toilet. She didn't even say your name. She just used the term that Brandy's little brother bringing me drugs and doing drugs with me. Brandy's little brother trying to kiss me and do drugs with me. Next thing you know, she's dead. You brag about all these phone calls recorded. You brag about how Snoop tell you and told you he's a part of the people who put bread to kill Pac. That's why I say don't mention Tupac's name in none of your interviews, because you fuck with the motherfucker Snoop who said he had something to do with it. So Snoop was involved in killing hip-hop's best all-time artist. You was involved in killing the best female vocalist that ever did it, Whitney Houston. So to get your ratings to go up for Love and Hip Hop, wherever the fuck that is, or wherever you guys got to do to be relevant, talk about that. That alone speaking volumes. And I wish for all y'all's success. I have nothing negative or bad to say about nobody I know. But I will tell the truth. I want the world to understand that everybody who's using these platforms, podcasts, it's a lot of great ones. But we don't have to put nobody down to be somebody. So I'm saying this one time and one time only. I wish all the people in society do well. It's rough out there in the streets. You got some motherfuckers with guns and no bullets. Some people with bullets and no gun. It's bad. But once again, I pray for the best. I do prepare for the worst. I want all success to the people we all know, that we all look like each other. Tell your story. It's up to me to tell mine. So the people I got love for, God bless you. Once again, you can get rich with the devil's money, but you can only be happy with God's money. I'm Suge Knight. I'm out.